What's poppin'? Brand new whip just hopped in. Today we will be rebuilding a 0 overall team. The goal is to rebuild this team until we hopefully make the playoffs. But once we do like 6 or 7 years, if that's not the case, we'll just have to find out then. But on the players card arts, it does just show a 12 overall, but they are 0. You can see that the team is a 0 overall. It's also going to be interesting seeing what like how bad we get blown out by teams, because as you can see in the preseason, we lost by over 100 points every single game. Before we get started with today's video, I wanted to thank everybody that's been liking and everybody that's subbed to the channel. I think we just recently hit 50 subs. And with that being said, I have a pretty nice video that's going to take a lot of work, but it's going to be really fun to do, planned for when we hit 100 subs. So please do me a huge favor, subscribe to the channel and like the video if you enjoy Madden rebuilds. It will help more people find these videos. And I know you're sitting there watching the video right now. All you got to do is turn your phone vertical, press like, press subscribe, and it would mean so much to me. Feel free to comment any videos down below, any rebuild you guys would want to see me do, and I will do it. But that's enough plugging of the channel. Let's get straight to the end of this first year and go 0-17. If we won a game somehow, I'd be pretty disappointed. That's about all I got to say. But knowing EA, it's probably possible. But that's enough yapping. Let's get to the end of the season. This should be interesting. And we, of course, finished the season 0-17. We lost 126-0 in Week 18. We didn't score a single point on the year. We averaged negative 24.7 rushing yards per game. Let's actually take a look at our season stats and just see how it looks. Also, it's probably going to say upgrade players here for a while because it like generates these upgrades for these players, but you literally can't upgrade them because they're 0 overall. And Jacob Eason threw for a whopping 700 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 63 interceptions. Marlon Mack rushes for a negative 320 yards, negative 46 out of Amari DiMercato, negative 26 out of Jacob Eason. Aaron Brewer somehow got 240 receiving yards. Carter O'Donnell allows 38 sacks from left tackle. Eric Smith allows 29. Our left guard allows 26. Somehow John Gaines only allows 5. Defensively, Ezekiel Turner got 130 tackles. But yeah, we of course got no sacks, no TFLs, no picks. Somehow Ezekiel Turner got 5 pass deflections though. We actually had a decent amount of pass deflections somehow. And we are obviously not in contention for any of these awards, but I will go ahead and show them. MVP goes to Jalen Hurts. NFC Offense Player of the Year also goes to Jalen Hurts. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Bobby Okereke. I've never seen him win Defensive Player of the Year in Madden Sim before, so that's pretty cool. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Bijan. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Jalen Carter. But yeah, let's sim to the offseason. We obviously won't have anybody to re-sign. And the Ravens beat the Falcons in the Super Bowl 28-23. One thing I did forget to do was look at how badly we got beat in every game. So our closest game of the year was versus the Steelers and the Seahawks. They only beat us by 77. And our worst loss was to the Giants. They beat us 154-0 in Week 2. It looks like some free agents got auto-signed to our team. They didn't play because I made it where it doesn't auto-sub in higher overalls because I knew there was a chance of this happening. So, I mean, it's not like it's going to matter that they're here on the team. But I just wanted to point out that's why it says we are a 17 overall instead of a 0. But we obviously have no players to negotiate with. Let's get to free agency, and it's going to be hard to sign players because they're going to have no interest in playing for a 0 overall team. There are some players slightly interested, though. We got Leonard Floyd who's interested. Baker Mayfield would actually not be a bad idea because we're going to be bad anyway, and there was really only one quarterback projected to go top 5. And I would like to trade back our first round pick anyway so that we can get a bunch of picks. L'Jarius Sneed would be a good addition. I mean, pretty much everybody would be a good addition. It would just be nicer if we could get younger players. But yeah, let me make offers, and I'll show you guys anybody we give an offer to here. But in free agency, we're going to go for Josh Allen, L'Jarius Sneed, Baker Mayfield, who may not sign. If he doesn't, it's not a big deal. It would just be nice to have a quarterback who kind of knows how to play football. And, make it to where we don't have to draft one this draft. We're going to go for We're going to go for Zeke Elliott and Jeff Okudah. So let's go ahead and send these offers through. And it looks like everybody signs. And we get L'Jarius Sneed, Zeke, and Jeff Okudah. Josh Allen did not want to play for us, which, makes sense. We could go for Amari Cooper, but he's really old. Same with DJ Reader. We don't really need to be going for older guys Because even L'Jarius Sneed is a little weird of a signing because he is already 27. So we're actually going to go for a few more players here. We're going to go for Kenneth Murray, Brandon Jones, Rondale Moore, and Derek Forrest. Going for Rondale Moore here might kind of be cheating because we did just release him when we made this team a 0 overall. And now we're bringing him back, but he's the only Cardinals player we're going for, so I'm not too worried about it. So let's send these offers through here. And we did get Derek Forrest, and we did get Rondale Moore. Brandon Jones and Kenneth Murray are yet to sign, but I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to play for an 0-17 team either. But we get Kenneth Murray. Are we able to get Brandon Jones? Oh, I have no more, evaluate offer things left. That's about everybody we're going to go for in free agency. We'll send them to the draft and see if we get Brandon Jones. But we are obviously going to have the number 1 overall pick. And I'm probably going to try to trade it down because I don't think... Because we do need a quarterback, but we could always just go for a later quarterback and, go for a high quarterback either in free agency at some point or once we actually build a team that's going to help them, win games. So it looks like we did get Brandon Jones, and I would say this team looks, better. We didn't re-sign any of those 12 overall players, so we do have a bunch of empty spots, but I think if they don't get filled, practice squad players should get put there or something. If not, I'll just sign free agents. I also kind of forgot how many picks the Cardinals have, but we do have the first overall pick along with the 14th. We also have 3 third rounders, so I'm going to try to see what I can get out of the first overall pick here. So we're giving up the first overall pick and our 5th round pick for 2 first round picks in this year's draft. One of them is at number 9 and 2 second round pick in next year's draft. I could almost even trade down the 9th pick again because I think what other teams have 2 first round picks? I thought there was another one, but then I remembered it's just us that have 2 first round picks. So, we already have 3. I wonder what we could be able to get if we traded down from 9. Yeah, I'm not going to trade down from 9. I'm not really able to find any trades that are worth giving up that high of a pick. So let's just get into the draft here and let's just pretty much just go for the best players available because we pretty much need every position. Okay, and Jamal Crawford is in the NFL now. So the one good quarterback is taken, but we could end up going with Jonathan Harden later. Other than that, there's not many good quarterbacks. However, Andrew Sherman looks really good. 22 out of Oregon State. He ran a 4.73 as a D tackle and had 39 bench reps. So he has elite strength, elite speed, and elite jumping. And his only bad rating is stamina, and his injury's kind of bad, but everything else is an A or a B. So I'm not going to put too much thought into this one. We're just going to go with Andrew Sherman here. 94 strength, 80 speed at 6'5", 296. I'm going to guess that guy is an 81 or an 82 overall. But hey, we got 2 more picks here in the first round. And we do need O-line. Maybe we go with Nathan Miles. He looks all right. Only 34 bench reps. His powers are really low, which isn't too important from a tackle. But Jarvis McCollum is also on the board, and he's stronger. He has great strength, but his powers are also really low. But that guy probably looks better than the first tackle we looked at. So this guy is weaker than the other 2 tackles we looked at least I think so. But his powers are pretty much better, and his finesses are still high. So I think we're going to go with Delvin Thomas here with our next pick in the first round. He has hidden dev, 86 strength, 84 excel. So definitely lower strength than the other players we're going to have. Oh, and I forgot that we have a back-to-back. And Jonathan Harden is still on the board. We do have the first overall pick in the second round, but I'm just scared we're going to miss out on a chance to get this guy. He does have great throw power, but that's about his only good rating. But his accuracies look good. He has B under pressure, B play action, B awareness. This guy may be normal dev, but I think he's going to be a pretty decent overall. And if he does happen to somehow have hidden, he'll most likely be our quarterback for the rest of the rebuild. So let's take a shot on Jonathan Harden. 93 throw power, 86 excel, and he does have hidden dev. His face scan there was kind of scary though. I'm probably not going to show all of these picks just because I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I feel like watching drafting, it could be a more boring part of the rebuild. So you guys can go ahead and let me know if you guys would rather see more of the drafting or less. But here I kind of like DeJoshua. That's an interesting name. DeJoshua Fowler at a USC. He is insanely slow, but he does A man, B zone, and B press. His speed just scares me a little bit. Emmett Collins looks pretty good at UCLA. He's actually fast. He has elite excel, elite change of direction, and great speed. And he has B-man, B-zone, and B-press. I want to say that this guy looks better. He's also 6'4". So let's go ahead and take Emmett Collins here with the first overall pick in the second round. He only has normal dev, but I think he's probably going to be like a 77, 78 overall. Maybe I'm giving him a little too much there, but at least a 75 in my opinion. I'll probably make this the last pick I show you guys. I may just go with another O lineman. Trey Wiley looks pretty good, 22 out of Wisconsin. He had 38 bench reps, which somehow isn't elite strength, but he has elite agility and elite jumping for what that's worth. He's really strong to have that low of pass block power. But the rest of his ratings look pretty good. His run block power is also pretty low, but this guy will probably be hidden dev. He's only 22 years old, and he does have hidden. He's 91 strength. And pretty much everyone we draft is going to be a starter, so that's going to be the last pick I show. I'll probably make a few more, but I'll see you guys at the draft recap. And in the draft recap, I would say we did pretty good. The quarterback we got is only a 73, and I thought Sherman was going to be a higher overall, but Trey Wiley is an 81. I think the last pick I made, I think I took both of these receivers, and they were both pretty bad. But this tight end had hidden dev, as did this linebacker. And I mean, a 79 overall is not bad. Sherman also wasn't even like that big. I don't know, 296 is pretty big. But I feel like this guy wouldn't be a terrible D-end. So he's actually the same exact overall at D-end. I think I might leave him there, to be honest, so he can get some sacks. But I'm pretty happy overall with how the draft recap went. Let's take a look at the whole draft class. And the one quarterback that I said looked good, it did end up being a 77 overall. But I would say we did pretty good. We didn't miss out on too much. Obviously, you know, some of these players would have been nice to have, but I would have preferred to have more picks, and Andrew Sherman was one of the higher overalls of the class. So let's see what our lineup is looking like now. So obviously the lineup is not great, but we have a quarterback now, we have a running back, we have some guys to throw to, we have 2 tackles. I'm pretty sure Wiley was actually a guard, but I can see why the CPU put him at tackle. We may sign some free agents to fill in these leftover 12 overall spots. But the defense looks a lot better. We have two linebackers that actually know how to play football. It looks like one of the CPU drafted guys also has hidden dev. That guy would probably be better at D tackle than he would D end. So maybe it's even better we moved Sherman over to D end. And he did go up in overall at D end. So we actually have corners that will know how to play football. And I think I called Collins overall at a 77. So definitely not bad. Still have some holes to fill. I will do that here in a bit. I'll sign some free agents. But other than because we don't even need to sign good players. We just need to fill these holes, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we won a game this year. So let's go ahead and sim a week ahead and see what players are sitting in free agency that I can grab, and then we'll take another look at the lineup. And after signing some free agents, the team definitely looks a little better. We do still have one 12 overall lineman. And here's a look at the defense. I would say our defense is definitely better than our offense. The reason I still left a couple holes is because I'd still prefer the number 1 overall pick so we can do what we just did again. But for this year, we'll probably get straight to the end of the season again. I wonder if we'll win a game because we're actually not that bad. Especially, we're technically 72 overalls higher than the previous year. But I will see you guys at the end of the season, and we'll see how we do this year. And at the end of the season, we do end up finishing 0-17. But we did score 8.4 points per game this year. And when it comes to dev traits on offense, it looks like the only one we hit on is Wiley. He has superstar. And defensively, I honestly thought that Sherman was going to have some sort of ability. But he doesn't, and honestly, that's fine. Let's see how everybody played. I'm actually pretty curious. And Jonathan Harden did pretty bad, but he doesn't have a very good supporting cast. He also got sacked 44 times. He goes for 3,000 yards. He has 12 touchdowns, 17 picks, 57% completion percentage. I think he'll start playing better once his supporting cast is better. Zeke Elliott almost gets 1,000 yards. Only 3.8 per carry, 2 touchdowns. Rondale Moore didn't do bad for us, 800 yards. Shai Smith also got 800 yards. They each got 3 touchdowns. All right, and someone explain this to me, please. Delvin Thomas, who is like a 74 overall, allows 21 sacks. And our 0 overall left guard allows 4. I didn't even know we signed Will Clapp, but he also allowed 4. But how does that make any sense? This guy's a 0 overall player. This guy's a 70, and he allows 5 times the amount of sacks. Defensively, Kenneth Murray got 130 tackles, definitely not bad. Andrew Sherman did pretty good. He got 16 TFLs. Terrence Campbell got 15. Terrence Thorne got 15. And we got 7.5 sacks out of Andrew Sherman. This guy might win Defensive Rookie of the Year. I doubt it. But our rookies definitely played better than I expected. We also got 3 picks out of L'Jarius Sneed, 2 out of Kenneth Murray. MVP goes to Lamar Jackson. NFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Christian McCaffrey. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Micah Parsons. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Stephon Ward for the Cowboys. But Dom Pickens comes in 7th, and Jonathan Harden came in 9th. Defensive Rookie of the Year does not go to us. We came in 2nd with Andrew Sherman. It goes to Tyler Farr for the Giants. We also came in 3rd with Terrence Campbell, and Terrence Thorne comes in 10th. But hey, we definitely didn't do bad. We're definitely showing progress. At least, I guess I would kind of hope so, because we were a 0 overall team last year. But let's get to the offseason here, and let's keep it. I would say we added a decent amount to the team that first year, so let's see what we can do here. The Eagles win the Super Bowl over the Titans, 30-24. Let's see if we have any players that we would like to bring back. And when it comes to these lower overall depth guys like Greg Gaines, I guess we may as well just fucking bring him back. We'll give my boy 2 years, 13 mil, and he's happy to resign. We have 177 million, so I'm not going to be like stingy. So I'm just going to bring back pretty much everybody that's not a 12 overall, so that if we're not able to fill up their position, then we have somebody there who's not a 0 overall. Bro, Will Clapp didn't sign. He was like the only one I actually wanted. All right, but let's get to free agency, and I don't know, hopefully there'll be some studs we can add. Let's see. Because we have 158 million to spend here. Oh, and Jalen Waddle would be nasty. So would Javon Holland, so would JOK, so would Greg Newsome. Holy shit, this is a good free agent class. Yeah, let me make some offers, and let's see what we can do here. And in free agency, we're going for Jalen Waddle, Javon Holland, JOK, Greg Newsome, and Quentin Miners. Or I guess it's just Quinn Miners. I'm a little worried we aren't going to get Greg Newsome, but if we don't, that's okay with me. I kind of wanted to go for Nick Chubb, but I only have 5, or I guess I could make it where I can have more negotiations, actually. So Nick Chubb is super expensive, so we're going to be going for these same guys. We're going to add in Joe Mixon and Diomodor Lenore. I'm honestly not sure how to say this name. That's going to be the closest I'm going to get. But we're going to send offers to all of these guys, and let's see who we are able to get. It looks like everybody signs besides Quinn Miners. I don't know why I keep calling him that. I think it's just Quinn Miners. But I think we may have gotten everybody except for Greg Newsome. So I'm glad we got Lenore. And Quinn Miners needs some more money. So let's give it to him. Fuck it. We'll go for Tevin Jenkins as well, just in case. We got Quinn Miners. We did not get Tevin Jenkins, but we just added a decent amount of players to this roster here. So let's take a look at the lineup before we hop into the draft. Hey, and I'm honestly pretty happy with this offense. Maybe with the first overall pick this year, we do switch it up at quarterback and go for a top projected guy. But other than that, we could definitely use some O-line help, maybe one more receiver. But defensively, I'd say we look pretty good. We have a pretty decent linebacker core. Our pass rush definitely needs some work. But we have a really good corner group, some pretty good safeties. So I'm definitely happy with how the team looks as of now. We're also like a lower overall just because of morale. We also don't have a kicker or a punter. But let's get to the draft here. We will have the first overall pick. I think we actually have extra picks just from trades we've made in years prior. But hopefully there's a really good quarterback that is projected to go number 1 or something. So it looks like there's only one top 5 projected quarterback. He does have elite throw power. I didn't scout quarterbacks though, but he has A awareness. He has pretty decent accuracies. He has good under pressure. Probably pretty good at play action. The only thing is this guy doesn't necessarily look that much better than what we have. Oh, I lied. There's actually 2 top 5 quarterbacks. This guy only has great throw power. He also has A awareness and good accuracies. His under pressure is possibly also an A. It's really hard to tell between those guys which looks better, but neither of them are projected to go until like after the 10th pick. So honestly, we could probably trade down to like maybe 5. We get Tyrell Fitzgerald, and then we also get like, let me just see what I can do here, because if we could end up with like the 5th pick and then like the 9th as well, we could get a tackle and a quarterback. So we got 2 firsts and 2 seconds from the Patriots, and we're able to trade a second from next year, or I'm sorry, a second from this year, a first from next year, and a 7th round pick for the 9th overall pick. So now let's get into the draft. Let's make sure the Patriots don't take a quarterback or something. Okay, it's supposed to show me, who they took, but whatever. I guess let's just send to our picks and hope that we didn't make a mistake. See, here's the thing though. This top 5 projected D end is still on the board. I was going to go for the tackle, but I feel like we could use an edge rusher, and he does have D block shedding. Don't know how you're a top 5 D end with D block shedding, but he also has A play rec and A finesse moves. Fuck yeah, I feel like we could use this guy more than the tackle, and we could always get a tackle in the later rounds of the draft. And he does have hidden dev, only 82 strength, but 87 excel. That guy's probably like a 75, 76 overall. But with our next pick, we're probably going to be taking a quarterback, assuming the mock draft wasn't lying to me. And yeah, both of the top 5 projected guys are still here. And honestly, there's some decent looking round 1 guys as well. Like Clayton Taylor has elite throw power and almost just as good of ratings as the other guys. Adam Kutcher has elite strength and also has pretty fucking good ratings. He has A throw on the run. Dude, we could almost trade down again because these two guys are probably going to go first. And I get that they're top 5 projected, but that doesn't really necessarily mean that they're top 5 talents because this guy only has great throw power. Honestly, I think that Adam Kutcher's ratings look better than both of these guys. So maybe we trade down again, honestly. So we're going to be trading down to 15 and gain a second pick for next year. So now let's just hope that nobody takes the quarterback that we want. Yep, and my boy Adam Kutcher is still here. Please don't be normal dev. And he has hidden dev, 91 throw power, 88 excel, 88 agility. He'll honestly probably be a higher overall than the quarterback we have now. But yeah, with this pick, I would definitely like to go O-line here. And Mike Rutherford looks pretty good out of Bama. He's 23. He's actually really weak. But his only low rating is his run block finesse. Everything else is great. So I'm just going to go off the core attributes, and we're going to take Mike Rutherford here. Hidden dev, only 82 strength. But, I mean, he didn't have good strength, like I said, so not too surprised there. We also have a pick here at pick number 5 in the second round. There's a pretty good center on the board here. He only has solid strength, but he does have good ratings. His finesse is a little low, at least for run blocking. Oh, his pass block finesse is also pretty low. I kind of like Marco Farley, though, out of Arizona. He only has solid strength, but he does have great speed and great excel. B power moves and B finesse moves. B to D play rec. There is a round 3 to 4 receiver who is a round 1 to 2 talent, who ran a 4.33, and that's only great speed. Ooh, this guy looks pretty decent. Okay, we're going to go for Britton Mullins in a later round. There's also just like these insane day 3 O-linemen, so maybe we just don't go with O-line here. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and go with Marco Farley here. Only normal dev, but he does have 86 strength, 83 excel. He's going to start for us regardless, so. And plus, like, the positions we need, there's plenty of players that we're able to get, you know, with these later picks. I honestly may just reach and take the receiver here, because I would hate if we miss, or we do have the first overall pick in the 3rd round. We'll probably be able to get him. Oh my fucking Christ. I think we're just going to go with Jacob Massey here. He's also around 3 to 4 projections, so maybe I should just go with the fucking receiver. But he has elite excel, elite change of direction, and pretty good core attributes, so I think we're going to go with him. He also only has normal dev, but he has 90 excel. We also have 2 pretty decent linebackers, so I don't even know how bad we needed him. But the receiver wasn't projected to go in the 3rd or 4th, so he should still be here realistically, which he is. So we're going to go ahead and go with Britton Mullins here out of Wisconsin. He's hidden dev with 95 speed, 98 excel. And then now we are to the point where we need to draft O-line. But hey, some of those 3-day guys looked pretty good. Like Emmett Burke looks pretty good. He had 35 bench reps. He has elite acceleration, elite agility. He only has good strength. I feel like 35 bench reps is more than good. He has low run block power and pass block power. I don't know if I want to take somebody with a low power on the interior. And Joe Wilcox is probably the best guy on the board. He has elite acceleration, elite agility, great strength, and elite speed. His powers are also pretty low. Is there anybody here with good powers? What about Joey Green? He could always play center for us. He also just has great strength and low powers. Ooh, Eugene Greenberry looks good. Only decent strength and really low powers. But his pass block power isn't bad. But his lead block's terrible. I guess we're just going to have to stop worrying about their pass block and run block power. So I think we're going to be going with Joe Wilcox here. And he has hidden dev. He still has 91 strength, which isn't bad. That's going to be the last pick that I show. Actually, that'll probably be the last pick I take. Let's sim to the draft recap, and let's see how we did. And the left end we took is actually a way higher overall than I expected. We did pretty good in this draft. Our quarterback's a 74. The tackle is only a 72, but he'll start. Same with the D tackle. Massey was actually a pretty good pick at 75 overall. Britton Mullins wasn't bad, neither was Wilcox. And then I think Baxter and Adkins were both CPU taken picks. Holy shit, there was an 85 overall running back. But other than that, we didn't miss out on much. Trent Pryor was a 79, and Randy Beverly was also a 79. So we did miss out on the better quarterbacks. Trent Pryor also has hidden dev. But I'm honestly happy with the one we got. We got more value out of what we did. But here is a look at the new roster. I think we finally cleaned up all the holes we had. Our O-line, we actually got good starters in every position. Hopefully Thomas doesn't allow, what was it, like 20-something sacks this time. We could definitely use a better tight end eventually. I also think we'll move Mullins up in the depth chart here. We'll also probably trade a Harden. But defensively, I'd say we also look better. The D-line still looks like it could use a little bit of work. But we're probably going to actually win a game this year. We'll probably win multiple. My prediction is that we're probably going to go like 5-12 or 6-11. But like I said, the goal of this video is to eventually make the playoffs. And we're able to get a first-round pick from the Jets out of Jonathan Harden. But yeah, there's not much left to do here. Let's just sim to the midseason and let's see how our team's doing. And at the midseason, we are 2-5, so we've officially won a game. We've won more games combined than the last 2 years, although we did go 0-17 both times. We actually have a weekly award from week 7. And Lenore went for 9 tackles, an interception, and a forced fumble. Holy fuck. We still do have the 31st offense in points per game, but we have the number 7 rushing offense. We also have the 8th defense in points per game. I actually do want to take a look at our stats here at the midseason. Adam Kutcher isn't doing great. 1,100 yards to 7 touchdowns to 5 picks. Only a 59% completion percentage. Joe Mixon's doing pretty good. He has 600 yards, 5.4 per carry with 6 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle's doing pretty good for us. 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Britton Mullins doing pretty good. 300 yards and a touchdown. And Delvin Thomas is terrible. He's already allowed 7 sacks. Rutherford's playing pretty good. Wilcox has only allowed 2 and 0 out of Wiley and Quinn Miners. So that's great. Lenore is leading our team in tackles as of right now with 47. And Andrew Sherman already has 5 sacks, so he's definitely playing good. Tony Lynn has 4.5. And we got 7 TFLs out of Andrew Sherman, 6 out of Marco Farley. We also got 3 picks out of L'Jarius Sneed, 1 out of Lenore, 1 out of Campbell, and 1 out of Javon Holland, 1 out of Trey Graham. So I would say what it boils down to as of right now is just quarterback play. Let's see what players we have ready to re-sign. Do we have any? No one important, honestly. Looks like the CPU auto-signed us a shitty kicker and punter, but hey, we finally won a couple games. We're up to an 82 overall. We started off at a 0, so I will definitely take that. We're showing progress. Let's get to the end of the season and let's see what record we finish off with. Wow, and we actually did a lot better this year than I assumed we were going to do. We go 8-9. We finished off the season 6-7. So the second half of the season, we pretty much went almost 500, so I'll take that. Adam Kutcher definitely with a better second half of the season. He finishes with 3,600, 27 touchdowns to 12 picks. Joe Mixon with a great year, honestly. 1,400 yards, 5.2 per carry, 12 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle did good, 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns. And if our quarterback doesn't win Rookie of the Year, Britton Mullins might with 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. And you know what? I can't be mad about 12 sacks. He had like 7 at the midseason. Rutherford allows 7 out of Miners, who had 0 at the midseason. 5 out of Wilcox, so he played good as a rookie, and 2 out of Wiley. JOK ends up leading the team in tackles with 132. We got 19 TFLs out of Farley, 15 out of Sherman, and 13 out of Tony Lynn. 7 sacks out of Farley, 6.5 out of Sherman, who I think had like 5 at the midseason, so don't know what's up with that. 5.5 out of Tony Lynn, 2.5 out of Greg Gaines. MVP, of course, goes to Dak Prescott. Offensive Player of the Year in the NFC goes to Saquon Barkley. I honestly thought we'd see Joe Mixon somewhere up here, but we do not. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Aaron Donald. We also have L'Jarius Sneed came in 4th place. I didn't check our team's interceptions now I think about it. What did he do? Oh, holy shit. L'Jarius Sneed got 7 picks. JOK got 3. 2 out of Brandon Jones, 2 out of Campbell, 2 out of Forrest, 1 out of Lenore, 1 out of Holland, and 1 out of Trey Graham. So we did good in turnovers, I would say. But Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Randy Beverly for the Vikings. We come in 2nd and 3rd place. Defensive Rookie of the Year does go to us, though, for Marco Farley, who I don't even think had that good of a season. Tony Lynn comes in 3rd place. The Falcons win the Super Bowl over the Raiders. I want to take a look at the lineup and see if we hit on any dev traits this draft. And on offense, we did not hit on anybody. Mullins has star. Kutcher has star. Lynn does go up to superstar. That may just be because he won. No, Farley won Defensive Rookie of the Year. Why does he have normal? It's not how that's supposed to work. But JOK goes up to X Factor. L'Jarius Sneed goes up to superstar. So does Lenore. And so does Lynn. Yeah, so Lynn was just drafted with superstar because he didn't gain it at any point. I want to see, did Marco Farley like go up in dev trait and they took it away? Yeah, they gave him he got 2 decreases, so he may have even went up to superstar with winning Defensive Rookie of the Year, and they just put him straight back down to normal. Whatever, I don't even have time to complain about that right now. But hey, we hit 1 superstar, and both of our corners went up to superstar. JOK's an X Factor. I thought that Joe Mixon might have gone up to superstar with how good of a year he had, but he didn't end up doing so. Just to double check, we don't have any players to re-sign. I would like to sign a real kicker and a punter at some point. But with that being said, let's just get into free agency here. Let's see if we can add, I don't even know. George Pickens would not be a bad addition. Other than that, though, I don't know. I don't think we need any of these other guys. So I don't know how we're not the top offer for George Pickens. I gave him like a $180 million deal. Doesn't even look like we're going to get him. I'm going to go ahead and go for a kicker and punter as well. So in free agency, we are going to go for George Pickens, Jake Elliott, and Ryan Stonehouse. They all 3 sign, and we do not get George Pickens. He ends up on the Texans. Maybe we just go for Debo, honestly. We're finally getting to the point where we're about to be in the playoffs probably. We're coming off an 8-9 season. Although teams do kind of want Debo. This is pretty expensive, but we're not planning on going for anybody else really, so I'm kind of willing to spend this money here. And he ends up with the Titans. They weren't even one of his top offers. That's really weird. So I guess we're just not going to go for anybody in free agency here. We'll try to hit on somebody in the draft. But in the draft here, I would definitely like to try to get a tight end. There were some pretty nasty receivers in the draft, though. I'm okay with the O-line. Everybody played pretty good. I don't know why Rutherford has negative morale. I feel like he had a pretty good year. Thomas did better than I expected him to, so I'm okay with how the O-line looks as of now. Same with our linebacker group. They look pretty good. We could maybe use another D tackle. So there's only 1 tight end projected to go in the first round, and he's around 2 to 3 talent. I think I'm going to try to trade up to get one of these top 5 talent receivers, or at least top 5 projections. Lionel Crosby's 23, but he has elite excel, elite strength, great speed, elite jumping. All right, so it's going to be hard to beat him. Let's take a look at Brian Beasley. He's only 21. He has elite jumping, elite excel. I mean, this guy's almost the same. He just doesn't have elite strength. Ooh, honestly, we'll probably go for Brian Beasley. I kind of like him more. So let's see if we can trade up to number 3 with the Chargers. We have a lot of, I think we only have 1 first-round pick. Actually, that might be wrong, but I know we have a decent amount of picks, so we should be able to do this pretty easily. Plus, there's not many huge holes on this team, so I'm kind of okay with giving up some draft picks here. Yeah, we do have 2 first-round picks. And all it takes is a 1, a 2, and a 6 to move up to number 3. So that receiver is going to be ours. We still have our other first round pick. So let's get into the draft. With our other first round, maybe I'll take like a D tackle or something. But yeah, Crosby does end up going 2nd overall to the Titans. So that means we are going to be taking Brian Beasley here. Hidden dev, 94 speed, 99 jumping, 97 acceleration. So hey, we didn't hit on George Pickens in free agency, but we got somebody that's pretty fucking good. So if we could get a nice D tackle here with our next pick in the first round, this draft would be pretty much perfect. Unless there's a good tight end, let me just make sure. There is a round 1 talent tight end, but he's not projected to go till the 2nd or 3rd round, so we could probably get him with our next pick. Nick Jacobs looks pretty good. He's also not projected to go till the 2nd or 3rd round. He has great strength, though, and great acceleration. He has really low pursuit, but his awareness and play rec are high. His power moves look good. Juan Weldon. He has elite jumping for what that's worth. This guy, honestly, I think looks better to me. Yeah, he definitely looks better. So let's go with Juan Weldon here. And let's pray that that tight end is still available for us. He has 91 strength, 81 excel, and is hidden dev. I'm really praying that that tight end is still on the board. And he is. Devin Baker, 22 out of Oklahoma State. He ran a 4.53. He has elite excel, elite change of direction, and elite speed. Holy fuck. This guy is a demon. Hidden Dev, 89 speed, 91 excel, 86 change of direction. And it looked like he had good blocking stats too. That's a fucking nasty pick right there. But this is probably going to be the last pick that I show you guys. I honestly wouldn't hate taking DJ Williamson here. 22 out of Utah State. Holy fuck, he ran a 4.63. Did you run your 40 with like fucking weights in your shoes, dude? What about Nate Gibson, 21 years old? He has elite strength and good acceleration, good speed. But he only has A zone and his other ratings don't look that good. I'll probably just go with an O lineman here just to keep it safe. Ezekiel Mobley looks pretty good. His strength is pretty low, but his ratings look pretty good. Let's just go ahead and take him. Hidden Dev, only 84 strength, but he'll get rotated in like when our linemen rotate. I honestly am content with those picks we made. I can't think of much else that I want to add to this team. Actually, I'll probably make one more pick. I'm going to try to get a corner here, but I'll see you guys at the draft recap. And in the draft recap, we did pretty fucking good. Brian Beasley is an 83 overall. I thought the tight end would be a higher overall, if I'm being completely honest. But Mobley ends up a 75. I did take this corner, who is a 71. The rest were CPU taking picks, and the CPU did pretty good themselves. I want to see what overall was the other receiver, the one that went second overall. Ooh, and Crosby was an 85. But our guy is faster. Oh, they both had 97 excel. But didn't our guy have like 99 jumping? Oh, the other guy also had 99 jumping. So we missed out on a better guy, but it was easier to trade up to 3 than it was 2. So let's take a look at the lineup after the draft. So here's a look at the offense. We are going to be starting Baker at tight end. I think he's going to be a pretty good player. We need Kutcher to have a good year here. He did finish off the end of the last year pretty good, so I have faith in him. I think I want to start Campbell at middle linebacker. But yeah, we added another hidden dev to the interior. Corners look great. Safeties look pretty good too. I almost wonder if Forrest would be a higher overall at strong safety. Yeah, so Derek Forrest stays at an 82 at strong safety. We'll probably just leave it like that because he's a higher overall than Brandon Jones. Brandon Jones will probably be one of our like sub linebackers or something anyway. Yeah, so Brandon Jones will come in at sub linebacker. Fuck it, we'll let him come in at slot corner too. I guess let's give him some playing time. But yeah, I have a good feeling that this is going to be the last year of the rebuild. I think we're going to make the playoffs this year. But with that being said, let's get straight to the end of the season and let's see if we can get into the playoffs. Before we take a look at how we did on the year, please make sure and leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel, especially if you like watching Madden Rebuild, because that's pretty much all I'm going to upload on this channel. And comment any videos you guys want to see. But Baker goes up to X Factor. Beasley goes up to X Factor. They didn't go up to X Factor. They were drafted with X Factor. I expected out of Beasley. Didn't necessarily think that Baker was going to be X Factor. And offensively, Weldon did only have star. I wanted to start Campbell at middle linebacker. I didn't, but I'm going to leave it how it is because we went 11-6 and won our division, obviously making the playoffs. We only had the 19th offense in points per game and the 20th defense, so I don't understand that. Adam Kutcher had a pretty good year, 4,200 yards, 28 touchdowns, 6 picks. That's actually really good. His best year so far. Joe Mixon was pretty good, 1,100 yards, 4.1 per carry, 15 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle with a great year, 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns. Devin Baker with 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. Rondale Moore was 1 yard away from 1,000. And Beasley only was 720 and 4 touchdowns. When it comes to the O-line, we definitely could have been better. Delvin Thomas and Rutherford combined for 23 sacks. The interior did pretty good though. I mean, 6 sacks from center isn't great. We got 5 out of Wiley in. Miners only allowed 3 sacks, so he was a good addition to this team. JOK leads the team in tackles with 124. 15 TFLs out of Sherman, 14 out of Lynn, 12 out of Farley, 10 out of Weldon. And this is definitely our best year so far in sacks. 11 out of Lynn, 8 out of Weldon. This guy might win Defensive Rookie of the Year. 5.5 out of Sherman, 3 out of Farley. And 4 picks out of L'Jarius Sneed, 3 out of JOK, 3 out of Brandon Jones, 2 out of Terrence Campbell, 1 out of Kenneth Murray, 1 out of Derek Forrest, and 1 out of Lenore. For yearly awards, MVP goes to Jalen Hurts. NFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Bijan Robinson. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Micah Parsons. Looks like we actually had a Defensive Player of the Year vote for Tony Lynn. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Devin Baker. He had a crazy year, so I kind of expected that. Beasley comes in 5th place. We also win Defensive Rookie of the Year with Juan Weldon. So hey, not a bad season, to say the least. If we get first rounded here, I'll consider doing another season. But God, I hope we don't get first rounded. First, let's see who won a weekly award in Week 18. Oh, my boy Kutcher went for 230 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's enough yapping. Let's sim to the divisional and let's see if we can get a win over the Seattle Seahawks. who we are a higher overall than. And we do. We beat them by 2 touchdowns as well. We have a weekly award. And Brandon Jones got 8 tackles and a pick. So now let's sim to the NFC Championship. By the way, our players have been getting upgraded. There's still like 12 overalls left on our team, so that's what that's from. But let's sim to the NFC Championship. We are the same overall as the Eagles. We did win more games, but they had the 3rd offensive points per game and the 10th defense, so I would not be surprised if we lost here, but let's see if we can get a win. And we do lose 21-17. I'm slightly tempted to do one more year because I think this team can win a Super Bowl. I was expecting this to be a lot harder than it was, if I'm being honest with you. We have a lot of dev traits on defense. We got 3 superstars and an X Factor. On offense, we got 2 superstars and 2 X Factors. The Cowboys lose the Super Bowl to the Raiders 21-7. I think L'Jarius Sneed was like the only player we needed to re-sign it up to this point. So if we're able to sign him again and bring him back, I'll probably do one more year. I'm pretty tempted because I think that this team can win a Super Bowl. Yeah, we only really need to re-sign L'Jarius Sneed. Everything else I think is just 5th-year options because I'm okay with letting Brandon Jones go. We can maybe use Jeff Okudah. I don't even know how much he played. We'll bring back Rondale Moore as well. But we need to give L'Jarius Sneed a good offer so that he re-signs. We're going to give him 3 years, $55 million, and he does re-sign. Now I'll leave the 5th-year options because this is actually going to be the last year. I'll re-sign Rondale Moore just because he had a pretty good year for us. 3 years, $26 million, and he takes it. But yeah, that's all the re-signings we have to make. Hopefully we can have a big free agency here, and that'll put us over the edge because we had a really good year. I think we have a Super Bowl roster. If we can fill in some holes here with some free agents, I think we'll be a really good team. And I mean, Tyreek Hill would be a crazy addition. We'd have like pretty much the best receiving core in the league, but I don't really feel like going for him. There's also not really anybody in free agency that we like need. We could go for Azeez Al-Shaair. I think I'm saying that right. We'll give him 3 years, $27 million. This will probably be the only offer we make. And we're his top offer, so he should sign with us. All right, he's really taking a sweet time thinking about it. And we do sign him. And we have a lot of draft picks here and a good roster, so we maybe should just be able to trade some of these picks away. I mean, we could always use another O-tackle. Ours are playing pretty bad. We need a new running back now because Joe Mixon is falling off. We could probably use another guy on the interior. Our D lineman keeps playing. Who won Defensive Rookie of the Year? Was it Weldon? Yeah, it was, and they gave him 2 dev trait decreases. That's the second time that's happened to us, by the way. But I think we have way too many picks here not to trade them because we need a running back and we can use a tackle. We technically need guys on the interior. These guys are playing pretty good, though, but I'll see if we're able to get one. So we're shipping Joe Mixon, 2 firsts and 2 thirds to the Colts for Jonathan Taylor, Brandon Smith, and a 77 overall D tackle that they drafted. Also, his name is Braden Smith, not Brandon Smith, my bad. But now, this is an actual Super Bowl roster. But here we are at the start of the very last season. We went from a 0 overall to an 88. So I will definitely take that. Let's get to the end of the season. Let's see if we can do as good as we did last year, maybe even better because we have a better roster. But let's sim to the end of the season and hopefully make it to the playoffs again. And we do finish with a worse record than last year. We finished 10-7, but we won the division again. We made the playoffs. We had the 8th offense in points per game and the 12th defense. We have a weekly award from week 18. And Kutcher threw for 320 yards and 4 passing touchdowns. So let's take one last look at our player stats on the year. Kutcher did good, 3,800 yards, 33 touchdowns, 8 picks. Actually a great year. This was a very good draft pick by us. Jonathan Taylor did good, 1,300 yards, 4.7 per carry, 16 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle finishes with 1,200 yards, 13 touchdowns. Rondale Moore with 800, 5 touchdowns. Beasley with 800 yards, 7 touchdowns. And Baker, definitely not as good of a season as last year, but I will take it, almost 600 yards, 6 touchdowns. Oh, and it looks like Braden Smith was a great addition because he did way better than Rutherford did last year. But Delvin Thomas allows 10, which is really not bad for this game. 5 out of Wiley, 5 out of Smith, 4 out of Wilcox, and only 1 out of Minor. So I'm really glad that we signed him when we did because I don't think he's allowed more than like 4 sacks in a season. JOK leads the team in tackles with 125. We got 20 TFLs out of Tony Lynn, 17 out of Sherman, 8 out of Weldon, and 7 out of Marlon Rush. 7.5 sacks out of Rush, 6.5 out of Tony Lynn, 4.5 out of Andrew Sherman. If there's going to be anything that keeps us from going to the Super Bowl in this rebuild, it's going to be our pass rush. We haven't had many sacks. I think the most sacks we've gotten out of a player the whole rebuild was 11. But for yearly awards, MVP again goes to Jalen Hurts. But my boy Adam Kutcher got his first MVP vote of the video. Offensive Player of the Year also goes to Jalen Hurts. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Micah Parsons. And we didn't really have any rookies because we traded away our first round pick. We did have a second round pick, but I didn't even bother taking it. But hey, I did one more year. I normally don't. But maybe the game will make it worth it. We're going against 10-7 Giants, who were 4 overalls higher than. So let's send to the divisional and hopefully get a win here, which we do. We win by 3 points. We're now playing the Panthers, who are pretty good overall and went 12-5. But they also didn't have a very good offense or defense in points per game. Ours were actually better in both. So let's get to the NFC Championship here. Maybe we'll be able to get a win. And we do. We win by a touchdown. But we have to go against the Dallas Cowboys, who we are higher overall than, but we all know the Cowboys are the most broken team in this game. Let's send them to the Super Bowl, and let's just fucking pray we can beat the Cowboys here. And we do not beat the Cowboys. And we only lost by a field goal. That sucks. Let's see how our team did. So Kutcher didn't throw for a single touchdown. Jonathan Taylor had a touchdown. Waddle had like 100 yards though, so that's good. And we only allowed 1 sack during the game. Did we get any sacks though? No, we did not have a single sack on the game. So who scored our other touchdown? Oh, I guess we just had a 2-point conversion in there because Jake Elliott kicked 2 field goals. So I guess it just comes down to Kutcher not stepping up. No touchdowns in the NFC Championship is not going to cut it. But this is the final roster we finished the video with. Jalen Waddle goes up to X Factor. Sherman goes up to Superstar. I would say the rest of the depth traits are the same. Lenore actually went down. But this is a pretty nasty roster we built here. To think that we started off as a 0 overall team is crazy. We finished with a 89 overall team. We make the NFC Championship in the last year. We made the playoffs the last 2 years. But that is going to be the end of this video. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. Leave a like and sub. I'll give you a kiss. Deuces.